Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Aaron here, and it's time to simmer down. I stayed up late tonight anticipating the new Netflix release of Death Note, their original movie series by Adam Wingard, who I'm actually a decent fan of. I really enjoyed his film, You're Next. Some of his other films I've been meaning to see or I'm an okay fan of. And in case you all couldn't tell, yes, I am a huge fan of the anime. Alright, so my opinions on the Death Note movie. I personally left feeling unimpressed. I thought they totally butchered the content material from the Death Note manga/anime series. Now, if you're watching this review and you don't even know what that is, and you just watch this movie or you want to watch this movie because, hey, it's in Netflix and it looks cool, then you may find this interesting. But if you know anything about the original content material, you're probably going to absolutely hate it. I can tell. I've been looking at the trailers like, oh yes, anticipating, and I've seen the comments. People are like, oh no, all this, oh that, this, that. Yes, your concerns, unfortunately, I am here to tell you, are realized. But Aaron, this is a brand new take on Death Note when it's in America and has nothing to do with the original show. Well, then why do they use the names of the characters from the manga/anime series in their movie? This movie barely even gives tribute to the anime. There is a scene that involves the hold-up, of him watching the news and writing the guy's name in the book. That is in this. But other than that, the classic potato, I gotta do this properly. I'm going to take a potato chip and eat it! That chip's actually quite good. But anyways, yes, Adam Wingard was right. It is a unique take on it, and it has lots of blood and gore and all that stuff that he loves throwing in his movies. That doesn't make it a good movie. Right, so I am very passionate about Death Note as a whole and have some strong opinions about this movie. If you haven't seen the movie at this point, come back, watch my review after you've seen it. I'm not going to go into any major spoilers, but I probably will go into things right now that people will consider minor plot spoilers. Alright, so literally you see the opening scenes of the film of Light sitting down, watching a football team, doing some homework, and checking out this cheerleader. And then you see that he is doing these papers for money. Okay, yeah, he's, giving people their homework. He's making money off them. And you see the cheerleader smile back at him, And the cheerleader, by the way, is Misa Amane. So her character is no longer a model. She's moved on to being a cheerleader. And I mean, this is all happening like right as soon as the movie starts. Like you turn on the movie, this is what you see. And then boom! Thunder, lightning, wind, rain, everything out of nowhere. And this book just falls down from the sky. Right on top of Light. Like it was meant for him to particularly get the book. And this bugs me. Because in the anime, Ryuk, he didn't particularly say, hey, Light's gonna get this book. He was like, no, I'm gonna drop it in a random location and someone will get it. But the way they did this was as if Ryuk the whole time was like, hey, Light, here you go, here's a Death Note. So he gets this notebook right in front of everybody that just fell from the sky, because as I said, he's surrounded by students and a football team and everything. And, just nonchalant, oh, cool, I'll take it, no one cares. And then this bullying happens. I guess that's from the anime too, of all things to take homage from. They gotta do the bullying. And he attempts to stick up for this girl, Misa. And then gets knocked out, and then they find out he's doing people's homework for him, and then he goes to detention. And it's when he's bored in detention that he pulls out this notebook and starts reading it. Doesn't even write a name, nothing like that. Just reads it. And poof, all this epicness once again, the marbles, glass breaking, marbles on the floor, the wind, everything else, and this Ryuk appears. And Light is just terrified. So Aaron, what are you getting at here? What is the point? You're just rattling on about the plot. Give me a minute here, guys. Just give me a minute. Alright, so Ryuk appears, and then, instead of like the anime, where Light is intelligent and figures all these things out by himself, Ryuk appears and just starts laying out all the rules of the notebook to him very quickly, like, telling us the viewers, okay, just get this in your head real quick, who cares? Alright, let's move on now with the movie. And he doesn't even say, okay, Light, do whatever you want with the notebook. No, he actually tempts him into writing the first name and using it. So instead of Light experimenting by himself to see if the Death Note is real, instead, which really bugs me, they have Ryuk just say, hey, Light, write this name down and we'll see what happens. Because, seeing a death god already by himself isn't already enough proof that this Death Note is something not to be messed with. And so then, completely unlike Light, who completely works alone, is highly intelligent, he goes immediately to this cheerleader girl, Misa, who he really at this point doesn't even know who she is or know anything about her, he doesn't care. And he's like, hey, you want to check out my cool book? It's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess a way to pick up chicks now is just hold out your Death Note, because apparently that works. And this all happens, keep in mind, within the first literal 10 minutes of the movie, everything I have said. So she's like, oh, I don't believe you. And he's like, let's check it out. Let's write a name. So they do, and she believes in the notebook. So there is a difference for you right there. Misa in this movie does not have Shinigami eyes. She does not have her own Death Note, and there is not another Shinigami. So pretty much they just throw these two people together and they're like, yeah, they're Light and Misa, so surely that's going to work out plot-wise. Alright, and let's get into the differences that they did with Light's character in this movie. So Light is actually an incredibly socially awkward person here. And as you all know, if you've watched the anime, he is highly charismatic and knows exactly what to say at any time to, anyone. In this movie, he's so socially awkward, he has no friends, and even when him and Mia are dating, due to the Death Note, he's like, oh, I don't know if I have permission to kiss you, and this and that, and it's like, how awkward is this guy? He is scared, which Light, in the anime, he also was scared at first when he first saw Ryuk, but then he reclaimed himself and became the Light that we know. In this movie, he is scared throughout of the power of this notebook and doesn't even want to use it. Light does not even want to use the Death Note. Is this even Death Note at this point? And to top that off, he completely doubts and is unsure of his actions for most of the movie, which once again is nothing like Light. And this Light character, I just have to say, comes off as book smart, but not the highly all-round intelligent guy that Light is. This guy seems really stupid at times, and he just gives himself away blatantly and just makes L's life easier. Alright, so next we're just going to keep going down the line, character to character here, because I just got a rant. Misa Mane, mostly known as Mia throughout this movie. She still loves Light, that didn't change, but she is reckless in a lot of different ways. She was definitely reckless and took the initiative in the anime, and that continues in the movie, but in different ways that I don't want to spoil. Her character overall, though, is a lot more selfish and cares about herself. So much, in fact, that I would even possibly consider saying that she cared about herself more than Light. And she is kind of this, devil on, Light's shoulder the whole time. Light's actually kind of like an angel in this movie. Weird, I know. And she's always the one, actually, that pushes him, kind of gives him a little shove and makes him do things throughout the movie using the Death Note. She has absolutely no regard for others, really crossing a line in some points. Alright, now L, everyone's favorite character, or at least mine. Huge L fan from the original anime. L acts completely unemotional a lot of times in this movie. He gets visually angry or sad and upset, and he allows these emotions to drive him to do things that could possibly lack reason or logic and are just pure impulse, which is not L. This character also will take a lot of risks in this movie. For example, once again a homage to the anime, but something L would never do, as shown in the trailers. He goes in the newscast as actually himself, standing in front of the camera taunting Kira. When is L ever going to go out in public without knowing how Kira kills people and put himself in danger like that? He's not going to do that. He is much more personally on hands with everything. He really has his hands imprinted on all the work rather than having Watari and other people go around and do his public meetings for him. L was pretty confrontational when he was certain in the original anime, but in this movie he takes that confrontational personality to a whole new level. And a lot of L's detective work in this movie didn't really seem very impressive because Light was just so stupid with how he went about doing things. It was completely not this mind game of L constantly trying to figure out who Kira is, Kira trying to figure out who Light is, trying to one-up each other all the time, trying to figure each other's minds. No, none of that mind game is in this movie, which is the core of what makes Death Note good. Light, which you'll see when you see the movie, purely gives himself away in such a way that I think I could have solved this case. I could have figured out where he was. L is basically handed his identity on a silver platter, which takes away from his character and the intrigue of watching him on the screen as this world-renowned detective. Let him do some actual detective work. Don't just let him have this path given for him, the breadcrumbs to follow. Alright, on to Ryuk, everyone's favorite Shinigami. So Ryuk in this movie, really after he's done explaining word for word to Light for him what the Death Note does, which Ryuk would never care to explain because he's too lazy and just wants to have fun and see how everything unfolds. He's not going to explain every detail of the Death Note to Light. That's half the fun, is having him find out on his own. But other than that, what's he do in this movie? Let's see here. He actually doesn't like Light. He says repeatedly throughout the movie, you know, why don't you just drop the Death Note and have someone else take over for you, because clearly you can't handle it. That's what he does in this movie. He actually likes Misa Amane more than Light. So other than the things I said above, what's he do? Well, he laughs a lot. And yeah, that's cool. That's what Ryuk does. But Ryuk's character is more than just about every scene. William Dafoe was a nice casting. He did a great job of Ryuk's voice. He was Ryuk. But the script, come on. I mean, every scene was just ha 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 ha. I mean, that's the easiest paycheck the guy can get. Alright, and now on to the Death Note itself. So they kept some of the rules of the Death Note, but they actually changed it up and add their own rules and even changed the current rules of the Death Note from the anime. Like now, for example, only the book holder themselves can see the Shinigami, which is a huge change, and really I didn't even think it was necessary for the show, because, I mean, for the movie, because as you know from the show, when L even just touches this Death Note, they can now see this Death God Shinigami. And that is why Light has to be so careful to not even let anyone touch the notebook. So once again, it kind of added this extra element of suspense and preparation. While in the movie, oh, if someone touches the Death Note, who cares? Only the holder Death Note can see the Shinigami. And they added this new rule, which you will see when you watch it, and I want you to comment below and let me know what you think of that new rule, because I personally think it was stupid and added in for their plot. So Light does have one really cool, awesome Light moment in this movie where you're like, yep, that's Light. But yeah, I mean, as you can tell, I really was extremely disappointed in this Netflix adaptation. The acting across the board in this movie was solid. My issues with this movie were the plot, which completely butchered the anime. Even so, had I not seen the anime and only seen this movie, I felt even then it would just be an okay movie to me, nothing special. The script, the plot, completely uninteresting to me. At the end of the day, is Netflix Death Note worth watching? Yeah, probably. If you're a huge Death Note guy, you know, I still was pissed off at it. But yeah, go ahead and see it. This is going to be put as a review on my channel, so I guess I need to give Death Note's Netflix adaptation a grade. Netflix Death Note gets a C. Alright, there you guys go. If you're new to my channel, check me out. I play lots of video games, mainly horror themed. I do horror movie reviews, I do TV show reviews, all that kind of good stuff on my channel. I also might do some random challenges and other things that you guys like to see. So please, if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more of my content. I try to post on a daily basis. Hope you all enjoyed hanging out with me on the couch here and talking some movies. And I will see you guys again tomorrow.